We've already identified that this emotional intelligence is very important in regard to leadership, even more so specifically regarding leadership than intellectual quotient or IQ. The reason for this is simply that emotions, our body is our brain, our central nervous system are all set for emotions being received and in nanoseconds decisions being made before the cognition components of our brain can even kick into gear. And I'll talk about that here in a little bit. But that's why we have things like these statements, emotions greater than cognition, the fear, the flight type syndrome. It also leads to why we can have beliefs that override facts, the constant struggle to critically think, to the science of thinking, of the back and forth between emotions and cognition. But there's really four emotions that have been identified, and I just bring them out here a little bit. There's scared, mad, happy, and sad. Some would think, some of the research suggests there's two more, surprise and disgust. But for our purposes, we can simply look at this scared, mad, happy, and sad. And we're going to talk a little bit here in a second on the neurology of all of this and why it is that emotions can override cognition in our brain and in our central nervous system. We're going to briefly look at just kind of an overview of the neurology that allows these emotions to occur, facial expressions, tones, pulling your arm back from a hot fire or whatever. We're going to talk a little bit about the neurology of the brain and the central nervous system, and I'm going to show a slide here of a dissected brain, so if you have a queasy stomach, please turn away here for just a second. But they're inside, beneath the cortex, the frontal lobe, cortex, or backward lobe. Here we're looking at the frontal lobe and a cross section. There's this thing called an amygdala, and it is, in fact, it's deep within the brain. So you see the brainstem and that goes down through the spine. Very long neurons with very long axons connect all of our sensors, be they touch, heat, smell, sight, hearing, all of your senses. Everything is processed here in this amygdala, or routed, let's say. Nanosecond decisions made by the amygdala before it even gets up into the higher part of where the cognition actually occurs. So here's another little picture of it, and you can kind of see it's a kind of a simplistic picture of, the eyes would pick up a snake, rattlesnake in this case, as you're walking through the forest, and immediately the amygdala triggers a response mechanism. So before it ever gets into the frontal lobe here of the cortex to process. So this is why emotions can override cognition. We've had an evolutionary process where our bodies and our brains have these kinds of mechanisms built into our brain and central nervous system. So if you look at this a little bit here in terms of the role of the amygdala, There's the conscious mind identified down here at the bottom. That's more like your cortex, your higher order thinking processes. But some stimuli come in, sensory, over, these axons and these neurons go into the amygdala, and the response can immediately occur. Now, something that's not requiring an immediate response, such as, is this the correct response, feelings of concern or worry, now you're in this cognition loop, and then a response based on stimuli that come in. So that's a real quick look at the neurology, and this is why emotions happen very quickly, and response mechanisms, facial expressions as an example. And as we get deeper into this, of course, one of the techniques is stop and pause before you respond. Don't let your emotions be hijacked. And this is all part of emotional intelligence at the core level. Be able to control your emotions as you interact, both inter and intrapersonal. The interpersonal you can obviously see, because you don't want to show you're angry unless that is indeed, after you've processed some cognition here, what you do want to show. Because that impacts how you work with other people. The excitement, a very positive response. And intrapersonal, how you deal with yourself, pause based on some stimuli coming in through your sensory mechanism. Don't, kick your blood pressure and your eyes bulge, and, learn how to deal with that emotionally on a personal level. But when you put these responses to emotions and how to deal with them from a positive and a negative standpoint, this is all part of emotional quotient, emotional intelligence, the ability to deal with intra and interpersonal intelligences.